Hey guys, J-Dub here, Dub's Customs. It's a little bit gloomy out today, but not too gloomy to do another mission to save cars. I'm here with my boy Russell.
Howdy.
Got Romain behind the camera. I'm gonna bring you guys along, show you what we've found and what we're taking back to the shop to clean up. Some of these cars have been sitting for 15 or 20 years, some better than others, but all of them definitely worth saving. The first one we're gonna come up onto is, what year is this, Russell? Nice Dodge pickup truck, 80s, right?
86.
86-ish. We got a nice Z28 over here. It's coming back to the shop. This over here, we've got Turbo Trans Am. Also coming back to the shop. Quite sought after. These cars are really coming around in value. So it's missing a lot of parts, but those parts are here. So we just have to find them. We have doors, we've got fenders. The hood, I just so happen to already have at the shop. I've been working on this deal for a couple of years, and it's finally just come through. So we've got the Trans Am. We've got the diamond in the rough over here. This is the car that is the best one here on the lot for sure. This is the 1973 Trans Am. Now, a lot of these parts are from the turbo car. So the doors are going back on the turbo car. The fenders don't belong on this car, but it just so happens that they must have been changed right here because there's the door for the car. The fenders, I believe, if I remember right, here's one fender. We've got the other door. We're missing one fender because this side's got the same, it's got the fenders for the turbo car on it. So hopefully we're going to be able to find the other fender. It's got to be around here somewhere. Everything else is here. We might just have to dig through the grass a little bit, but for starters, we're going to start loading these cars up. We're going to get this one over to the truck, load it on the trailer, back to the shop, and do 4 or 5 back and forth until we got all the stuff out of here that we want. It's going to be a great day. Keep your mitts out of there, Russell.
Hey. It's got headers.
It's got a lot of things that you're never going to have.
Come on. Hey, it's got a new fan belt on it.
Powering out.
Yeah.
Slow and steady.
Hey, and the grill's nice on this.
Is it?
Yeah.
Better come around and have a look.
Yeah. 350 truck.
Love that front end.
Oh, I know. It's one of my favorites.
This is the cream puff here, right here.
Yeah. This is the money car,
Old
James.
Edelbrock carb.
Aluminum intake, headers.
She's pretty dusty. Somebody's taken the plug wires and the caps laying there.
It's got camel ball pants on it.
Does it?
Yeah, look at them.
Sweet. I think he said this was a 327. Like, I think it's out of, I believe the motor in this car right now is out of the Z28. We need a little more power. Snatch block on it. What you should have done is you should have been up a little higher on that upper ridge. Would have been less bend in that cable, but you're almost there. I'd assist you with the forklift, but I think we'll mess up the face of this bad girl. Over on this side, we're missing a rear quarter panel. But supposedly the fellow that I purchased the car off of is gonna dig it out. He's got it somewhere. So I acquired a whole bunch more junk, but that's okay. I love cleaning these things out. They tell stories, what the last guy was doing. Hopefully we'll be able to dust it off and maybe fire this thing up. Get a run and do some burnouts. And then I don't know, do we build this car, guys, or do we send it down the road to the next fellow that wants to put a little bit of love into it? Man, that thing, it's just killing me. One inch at a time. Here at Dubs Kustoms, we don't have any of the fancy tools. While we're here, we might as well come over and have a little look at the Z28. No engine. The engine is in the 73 TA, as far as I've been told, but pretty collectible car, so we're gonna clean it all up. I might have a 350 sitting at the shop that we can toss in it. It's an automatic car, unfortunately. It would have been better if it was a 4-speed, but hey, can't complain. Still a Z28. Been sitting here for a long time, I imagine. Be nice to find the rest of those rims. We're gonna have to find some rims to make this thing a roller. Hey, for kicks, what's in the trunk? Well, we got parts. Tail lights, computer, bunch of randomness. Oh, I guess the tail light belongs there. There we go, now we're making some progress. All right.
I'll sit here, we'll have a run before we get to the shop.
What, are you reading the codes?
Yep. Hopefully she doesn't skip over that.
Hopefully not. You want to put a chain on it? Looks like somebody did an exhaust job on it not too long ago. Still kind of looks fresh. I still can't believe that they took the doors off and put the 80s doors on, but we'll fix that. Actually, with this matching the turbo car, this car here, if a guy clear coated it, would have a pretty cool patina. The hood is just like this as well, so definitely be putting this one back together. I think out of the Z28 and the turbo car, I like this TA better. It's got more style. And like, look at that, like, come on. You just can't beat it. And it's fairly solid. You know, you look all around here, it's not too bad. Who knows what the floors look like? It's been without doors for a long time, but the old T-tops, gotta love it. That's the first one of the day. Let's take her back to Dubs. First load of the day. 73 Trans Am. It's another beautiful day here in Kamloops, and I'm going to be taking my first look at this 73 Firebird, I guess, is what I'm being told. There's so many different parts on this thing. Until I get the registration, I haven't had time to look. I guess there's other ways that I could verify if it's a Trans Am or a Firebird. But at the end of the day, it's a super cool car that needs a little bit of care and attention. So we're gonna pop the hood up here, have a look over the engine. I've already glanced at it a little bit. I know it's missing a few parts. So let's dive into this one. Now it's supposed to be 327, but our friend Russell says he's verified it as a 301. But you guys know how Russell can be sometimes. So we're gonna look into it ourselves, see what we got. Hopefully it's a 327, and try to get it running for the first time in, we don't really know how many years. It's been a while, that's for sure. So let's dive in here, see what we got. Maybe wash this thing up a bit because it's a mess. All right, here we have our engine. Yet to be verified exactly what size it is, but as you can see, it's filthy. So let's just start with a bath, shall we? It's got an Edelbrock on there though. It looks like, well, maybe just a little bit of dirt went down it. Should be fine. Not seized. Distributor cap stolen a while back. You can see the dust is building up on it, so we're gonna have to blow all that out. It's got headers. We've got the distributor cap looking a little bit dusty, and I've went ahead and bought a set of spark plug wires for this girl. So let's give it a bath. After the engine cleaning, I'd say we're looking pretty good. Right now, it's a matter of, does this engine run? So time to get some spark plug wires on and clean the carburetor up a bit more. Probably, ooh, I'm really debating if I need to take it off or not. I might just reach in there and dig everything out of her and hope for the best. But everything in me is saying, pull the carburetor off and clean it up right, James. But we're kind of short on time, so we'll see if that happens. Oh yeah, baby. Okay. I just can't do it. We've got to pull this carburetor off and do it right. I know you guys realized that I wasn't going to be able to do it a long time ago, didn't you? Well, you were right. Let's do it right. Because I know I'll kick myself in the butt if there's a bolt down sitting in this intake manifold down here and I don't look and find it before it goes into the engine. We almost got this carburetor off. And we'll have a little look down there just to make sure there's nothing. The distributor is pretty nasty too. I don't know why somebody would have pulled the cap off and stole the plugs, but I also noticed the PVC is gone. This is probably transmission kick down, not hooked up. Throttle, well, it's all there, but this is for a ball socket or a ball, and this is the socket. And on the carburetor itself, it has the straight shank with the little slot for the clip. So it makes me think that maybe somebody had just swapped the engine out, but never really got it going after. It also doesn't have a battery tray to even sit a battery. So maybe that could be some of the history. Somebody just robbed the hose clamps, I guess. So a lot of little things, but I was told that it was a runner. So we have high hopes on this one. But less rambling, more work. I think I got them all. Okay. Well, it's definitely worth a vacuum for sure. So I am glad that I did it. Yeah. If we wouldn't have pulled that carburetor off, we would have been sucking all that dirt into each cylinder. Time to take this carburetor in and maybe knock some of the dust off of it. I've got the carburetor back on there, and while I was at it, I replaced the fuel filter and decided I better blow out the distributor because, as I showed you before, it was just caked in dust, which then later turned into mud. Imagine that, a little bit of water, dust. Anyway, blew it out, and I'm just gonna say this, I will be super surprised if this has spark right off the hop here. We're gonna try it anyway, but we might be changing out the distributor for a new used one. But I just want to make sure the engine's rolling over and I don't hear any noises. So I've hooked up my nifty little button here, and we're gonna roll this thing over and see if it's sounding okay. Here we go. I'd say not too bad. You know, I don't know, you hear a little bit of that galloping, but motor's rolling over. Next, time to see if that pump works and suck a little bit of fuel in the old carburetor. We're gonna start rolling the engine over until hopefully we see fuel squirting out of the carburetor into the manifold. We never rebuilt on it, so we can't expect much. Let's see what we get. Might take a little bit. Okay. All right, now that we got the fuel pump on, we need to make sure we got fuel going up to the carburetor. Again, I want it soaked for a little bit before we really try rolling it over, just to give us our best chance. We still have spark plug wires to put on. We're just about there. And here we go. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we have to fill the carburetor up full of fuel, let it soak for a bit. Nothing left to do but to hit the button and let her rip. We better give her a couple squirts of this too. That might be a smart thing to do. Okay, I wish I had 3 hands, because I'd be kind of like feathering this and pushing this and holding that, you know what I mean? But we don't have those luxuries around here. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys. We might have a little bit of a timing issue right now, because I did notice the distributor looks like it was just put in because it was completely loose. So maybe we got to just give her a little turn like this. We've got nothing happening. I don't think we got enough power to crank this thing over now, but there's something else going on. Give me a minute while I check the spark plug wires, make sure they're in the right order. We'll go at it again, because we're not giving up. Not yet. Okay, 1973, take 16. Still struggling to get this sucker to pop off. Really trying to get into the mindset of the fellow that was working on it before me. Trying to figure out where he was and what mistakes he maybe made along the way. Looking deeper into the motor, I've now realized that all the spark plugs are just hand tight. The distributor was hand tight. So I decided that I just better go back to the roots and check the timing. Make sure that distributor was dropped in the right place. So I've taken the valve cover off. I've set it on top dead center on the intake compression stroke. So as far as I feel, when I take that cap off, we should be pointing directly at cylinder number 1. If it's not on cylinder number 1, and say they set top dead center on the exhaust valve, we should be 180 degrees out, meaning we should be pointing that way. So let's pop this sucker off, see where we're at, and go from there. Oh, that could be a problem. So right off the bat, I can see that we're not pointing at the number 1 cylinder like we should be, nor are we pointing 180 degrees out. So it kind of just seems like somebody dropped that distributor in just any random position. That most likely is our problem, why this motor's not starting, and potentially why this vehicle has sat for the last dozen years. So we're pulling the distributor out, we're going to set that in the proper place, and hopefully have better luck to bring this old girl back around. Let's get some wrenches. I just wanted to show you guys exactly what I meant. You see how this little piece right here is pointing at the firewall? This should be pointing at cylinder number 1 when you're on the compression stroke and you've got your mark on the balancer down there at 0, and you can obviously see we have a problem. We're not. So we're gonna pop it out, turn it, and get it pointing at cylinder number 1, and I'm pretty certain that we're gonna have a lot better luck. Now each time we find a problem and solve it, the percentage of this thing firing up gets a little higher. You know, I started at like 80%. Now I feel like, you know, we're probably 95% chance she'll start. You always got to leave yourself that little wiggle room just in case it doesn't. Where is it? There it is. I'm just going at it by braille here. There it is. Okay, that's all locked down. We got to plug this little doodad in right here. And if you guys don't know, Chevys are so easy to jump without the key. Where it says bat right here, battery, you just got to put a jumper lead from here to the positive on the battery, and this sucker will have spark. And if she's got spark, like you guys know, and we got fuel, and the motor's rolling over, it should fire up as long as the timing's all correct. So let's put this on here, so we're at least running on all 8 cylinders. And we'll give her a whirl. Now that I've got the distributor moved and the timing set, and I feel pretty confident that we are now ready to make this thing come alive, I've checked it over one last time just to make sure we've just buttoned up everything that I can see, made sure we have all of the hoses and lines away from the fan, and I think it's finally time to add some light to this fire. So let's fire it up, see how it sounds, and maybe even get a timing light on it. Yeah. We're gonna bottle feed her. Ready? Okay, timing's off a little bit still. Okay, not happy. There we go. Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh boy. I take it we might be missing a part back there. Did you guys see that? The unfortunate thing is, to me, it looked like mostly water. And you know what I think without looking? Take a guess. I feel it is the oil sending unit was probably removed or never installed. Wow. Yep. Okay. Just loose end after loose end with this mechanic. Keep moving forward, James. It's another engine, another beautiful car. You're trying to get back on the road. Maybe I should stop using a percentage system. Every time I think I'm ready to go, I find out that we're not. Are you guys entertained? Now that we've oiled the full engine compartment, let's give it another go, shall we? We might want to put a little bit of oil in there. Yep, I think we're going to be low. This is hard. I can't even see the line, it's so far off of timing. I can't be super far off, but I just don't have enough hands. I really need to get the engine so it will run on its own, but to do that we need to have a fuel pump, and for some reason our fuel pump's not working, even though it's brand new. But when I pull it out and I actually pump it by hand, it's working. So my assumption is possibly that the cam lobe could be worn, not pushing the rod down far enough to activate the fuel pump properly. If that's the case, then we're gonna have to put an electric fuel pump on this thing. But man, we're making progress finally. We've got an engine that sounds pretty all right. So maybe let's try to get it fired up again. We'll rev it up a little bit, get the oil pressure up to where it needs to be. Then we'll come back around and we'll check the oil, because I have a sneaky suspicion that it might be a bit milky. Hopefully, I don't know, man. That was a lot of water that came out of that sucker. I hope the bottom of this block isn't really rusty. It sounds not bad. Let's rev her up a little bit and see if she holds together. Okay, here we go. It's boom boom time. Oh boy, this just doesn't seem right. Why does this car have such a long nose on it? Now, fella, what the hell was that? It's like it unleashed a beast for a second there. I thought it was gonna blow apart. What was that? I sure hope that wasn't something starting to seize or something. Did you guys hear that? It was like something just bellowed from the bottom of the ocean or something. Should we try it again? Yeah, I think so. She's not seized. Let's give her another go. Why couldn't we have been born with 4 arms? Hey. Hey, there we go. There we go. Who needs 4 arms? It's gotta be smart. Come on, baby. I don't know what that was. And I really just don't like my lips being right above this fan. Okay. I think we've had it running long enough. We need to fix this fuel delivery issue. I would have liked to have maybe got it a little bit warmer and been able to burn off some of this oil, but it's not going to happen until we have a steady supply of fuel going into this carburetor and into the engine. So we've got to backtrack a little bit and head back down to the fuel pump and see what's going on. Okay, that was exciting. If I pump it by hand, it's working. It's almost like the shaft is too short, but there is a shaft in there. I've never had the problem with too short of a shaft, but I guess this motor does. So I ran out to the parts store, got a new fuel pump. It seems to be working. So I'm gonna bottle feed it one last time to get that fuel up into the carburetor, and we're gonna see once and for all if we can make this engine idle. Wish me luck. Running on her own. I wonder if it'll run long enough for me to check the timing. I just got a glance at the line. It looked very close. So I actually think, just by that quick glance, that timing is pretty darn close. You always got to double check your spark plug wires, especially if they're brand new, fellas, like mine are. You don't want to cook them right off the bat. Them headers get hot. Okay. Do we have fuel coming in here? Oh, yeah. All right, let's fire it up one more time. We can't run it that long because we don't have any water in the block. So we're already kind of pushing the limits a little bit, I would say. But let's see if we can't fire it up one more time, just hear what it sounds like before we, carry on and put water in the block. You guys got to let me know. You want me to take this old 73 Firebird to the point where we can do burnouts? Let me know in the comments below. I think it would be still a bit of work. We got linkage in the transmission to do up. We got, who knows if there's a drive shaft in it at this point. I haven't checked. A little bit more work under the hood here, but I think it would be worth it. And how much fun would it be to be taking this old girl out in front of the Dubs Custom shop and laying down some lines? Would it be one line or two? I don't know. Let me know. Ooh. That's all that oil burning off. Now that we've got this old engine up and running and we've worked through most of the problems, and there were a lot of problems. Fuel pump wasn't working. Carburetor was all gummed up. Distributor was on the wrong cog and not timed properly. There wasn't even a cap. There was just dirt caked everywhere. We had no spark plug wires. Spark plugs were about to fall onto the ground, they were so loose. And we had a geyser. We can't forget about the geyser behind the engine. But after all of the hard work, we finally got this engine up and running after who knows how many years. It sounded pretty good. I'm very excited about it. I love doing this type of stuff. And if you guys like it, make sure you hit the button and subscribe to the Dubs Kustoms YouTube channel. But I'm ending this video. Like always, be safe out there. Peace.